Welcome to the most disturbing Reddit story I have ever read on Reddit, where OP Unknowing got married to her sister. But now, despite knowing the fact that they are siblings, OP doesn't want to separate from her. I, 27-year-old male, have been unknowingly married to my sister, Harper, 27-year-old female, for 5 years. We have a daughter, Ava, 3F, and my wife is now pregnant with another baby. We only discovered that we are siblings 2 months ago. My wife and her adoptive parents want to end our marriage, citing ethical concerns and the invalidity of our union under US laws. However, I am deeply in love with her and do not want to separate. I raised the question of why sibling marriage couldn't be legal if gay marriage is allowed, and I suggested keeping our true relationship a secret until sibling marriage is legal in the USA. Background: we were born to a poor couple in Texas in 1995. My parents, James and Elizabeth, and our Aunt Carol, now 48-year-old female, worked in a cotton processing factory, and all other family members were in their hometown. Sadly, our parents passed away in a horrible car accident just 2 months after our birth. My Aunt Carol told us that she took on the responsibility of caring for me and my sister after the death of our parents. However, due to her low income and other circumstances, she was unable to provide for us, and as a result, she made the difficult decision to send us to a nearby orphanage. After 2 years, I was adopted by a couple from New Mexico, and my sister by a couple from Oklahoma. We were aware of our adoption, but neither my sister nor I knew we had another twin sibling. In 2014, I received a Fulbright scholarship to attend Trinity Washington University in biochemistry. In my second semester, I met Harper, who was pursuing law. She had a classical beauty that captivated me, and I soon fell in love with her. After 6 months, I proposed to her, and she accepted. We announced our relationship to our colleagues in a grand party, and we quickly became known as the ideal couple on campus. Harper was tall, leggy, blonde with long hair and big eyes, embodying the traits of an ideal beautiful girl. I, on the other hand, had a muscular physique, golden skin, and ruggedness that fit the image of an ideal American man. Our relationship garnered admiration from our peers, with girls aspiring to be like Harper and boys wanting to emulate me. After dating for 5 years, we got married in 2018 in a lavish ceremony, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. We began living a dream life, with my wife practicing law and me working for a multinational company in Washington. 2 years later, we welcomed a daughter who bears a striking resemblance to her mother. Around that time, the Ancestry DNA test was trending, and we decided to take it. The results showed that we both shared 100% of the same ancestry. It was surprising to us, but we didn't pay much attention to it because we thought it must be due to an error in testing. However, the real surprise came when my mother-in-law revealed to my wife that she was adopted from an orphanage in Texas. It was an eye-opener because my adoptive parents had also adopted me from Texas, and my wife knew this. On learning this, she said that we must be blood relatives. To further investigate, we had a detailed DNA test, through which we discovered that we were not only blood relatives, but also siblings. The result of the test really baffled us, but we decided to further investigate, and for this purpose, we went to the Texan Sunrise Sanctuary, the orphanage from where we had been adopted. After reaching there, we met the director of the orphanage and told him the whole story, and we requested him to show us our data. When he opened the archive files, they showed that we were siblings, and it was our Aunt Carol who had given us to the orphanage back in 1996 after the death of our parents. After obtaining our aunt's address, we reached there and met a friend of our aunt. She informed us that our aunt had been relocated to Mississippi after her marriage and provided us with her contact number and address. After contacting our aunt on the phone, we traveled to Mississippi after a week and told her the whole story. She was also shocked and amazed after learning this. After we returned from Mississippi, my wife asked me if we should separate because our marriage was invalid and it was unethical to be in a marital relationship with one's sibling. I told her that we could not do this suddenly and asked her to let me think it over thoroughly. She agreed to give me some time, but made it clear that we would not engage in any intimate activities anymore. I had no option but to agree. My wife was not the only one who wanted to dissolve this union. Her adoptive parents and our Aunt Carol also shared the same desire. One day, all of us were at our home, and my aunt started arguing that we should publicly announce our true relationship and end the invalid marriage. I respected her, But it was surprising to hear such demands from the person who was responsible for all this mess. So, I asked her to be quiet on this matter, and told her that she was responsible for what had happened. I asked her why she didn't raise us herself, and instead threw us at the mercy of an orphanage. Upon hearing this, she got offended and started arguing with me. I told her that I didn't want to have any relationship with her anymore, and asked her not to visit us after that. Upon hearing this, she left our home red-faced. Aunt Carol's persistent insistence on ending our marriage raised doubts about her intentions in demanding our separation. When I started investigating our aunt and her past, I learned that our parents held managerial positions in a cotton factory, while Aunt Carol was just a laborer. Our parents owned a house and some other property. When they passed away, our aunt decided to claim that property for herself. It was difficult for her to take the property in our presence, so she sent us to an orphanage where we were adopted by two separate couples. As she was the only relative of our parents in Texas, all their property went to her because she didn't reveal that our parents had two babies. Knowing she might get caught, she fled from Texas to Mississippi after selling all the property of our parents. When I inquired why she wanted us to separate, I found that she wanted her son Henry, 26-year-old male, to get married to my wife after our separation, and the purpose of this marriage was also monetary gain. I went to her home again, showed her a mirror, and severed all ties with her. On my return, I told the whole story to my wife. She was shocked to hear all this. However, at the same time, she asked me that we should get separate ASAP. I told her that I love her very much and cannot imagine getting separated from her. On my refusal, she confronted me and said she wanted to separate at any rate, and there started a heated argument with her. When the situation was getting out of my hand, I asked her what would happen to our offspring if we separated. She promptly replied that she would abort the child that was in her belly and would keep our daughter with her. I strongly objected to what she said and argued that it is a nonsense approach and that I would not let her kill my offspring. I told her that there are many people around the world who have married their siblings, and it is not as weird a thing as she had thought. I mentioned that in countries like France, Thailand, Luxembourg, and even some states in the USA do not criminalize sibling relationships as long as they are consensual adults. I told her that it is just a difference of cultures, and we have not committed a crime. Furthermore, I told her that if two same-sex individuals can marry, why can't siblings marry? Listening to all my explanations, she calmed down at that time and retreated to her room. As I mentioned above that since we learned that we were siblings, we didn't have any bed activities and were sleeping separately. In the morning, she came to me again and expressed concern that if people found out we were siblings, it could cause problems for us. I reassured her that according to our official documents, we were not siblings, and as long as we kept our true relationship a secret, there would be no way for anyone to know. She said, "Aunt Carol can cause a problem." When I thought about her, I realized that she could potentially be a problem for us. However, later that evening, I suggested that we leave the city and relocate elsewhere. I also told her that if our aunt attempted to expose our true identities, we would not hesitate to reveal all of her secrets and take back the property she grabbed after the death of our parents. After hearing everything, she fell silent and left my room. I believe she loves me, but she cannot take the final decision, and this silence of hers had also made me confused, and I don't know what to do. But one thing is clear, that I don't want to leave her because she is the love of my life. So, Aita? OP is a big a-hole for wanting to remain married to his sister, despite knowing their true relationship, raises significant ethical and legal concerns. No matter what OP's feelings are for his sister, their marriage is unethical and illegal. The implications of a sibling marriage can have severe emotional, social, and legal consequences for both OP and his children. On top of that, OP's insistence on staying together, despite her refusal and discomfort, shows a lack of respect for his sister. The best and only solution is for OP to separate from his sister. As for AH score, I would give OP 5 out of 5 on the AH scale. What do the Mac Reddit fans think? Is the OP an AH or not? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like the stories I brought you, just hit the like button, share them as much as you can, and don't forget to subscribe to Mac Reddit for a daily dose. Bye bye, see you tomorrow with some more spicy fries.